Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. As you guys see from the title of this video, today I will be comparing and doing my makeup in two different ways. So one side of my face, I'm gonna be using my makeup brush, and then this other side, I will be using the sponge. So I am very curious which side of my face looks better using a brush or using a sponge. I'm not sure yet because I haven't done this. So it's going to be very interesting which side of the face is better or if both are the same. I'm not sure. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start the video, my loves. But before I do, if you are new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Irene, but I go by Msbeautyinspire here on my YouTube channel. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to hit the bell notification so that way you guys don't miss any of my future videos. And if you are already subscribed, welcome back. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and start this video. Alright, my loves, so before I start applying my foundation, I'm gonna first go ahead and apply my primer. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the e.l.f. Putty Primer. Alright guys, so now I'm gonna go ahead and apply my foundation. I'm gonna go ahead and use the e.l.f. foundation. I did a review on this baby on my last video, and I really like this foundation, but the only problem is that it has fragrance. But I said that I was gonna be using it, but when I finish it, I'm not gonna be using it anymore, even though I love how it leaves my skin. But I have to be careful whenever there's fragrance on my foundation because I don't want to break out or anything, so I gotta be careful. So this side I'm gonna use my brush, and this side I'm going to use my sponge. So we're gonna go ahead and use the brush first. So using my foundation brush, if you guys are wondering, this is from Lorella Cosmetics. I'm gonna start blending my foundation. Alright guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and apply my foundation right here using the sponge. So I'm gonna go with my sponge and start blending the foundation. I think that the difference that I see right away is that using my sponge is way quicker, and it also has more coverage than using my brush. I think that using my brush absorbs a lot of foundation. So that is one thing that you guys need to keep in mind. Now I'm gonna go ahead and apply my concealer. Usually the new technique that I've been using is applying my bronzer first and then concealing my face. But for the sake of this video, I'm gonna go ahead and apply my concealer first. I'm gonna go ahead and use the e.l.f. Camo Concealer, and first I'm gonna use the brush side of my face. So I'm gonna apply it right here, and then I'm gonna use the flat concealer brush, and this brush is from Sonia. If you have a fluffier brush, you could also use that, but since I have this brush that I barely use, I'm gonna go ahead and use it to blend my concealer. Alright guys, so now I'm gonna go ahead and I'll use my concealer right here. Alright, so this side I'm gonna blend my concealer using my sponge. Okay guys, so this is how my face is looking like. So what I noticed is that again, using the brush, it took me a little bit longer than if I was using my sponge. And using my sponge, it makes the blending more easier, and it also leaves your skin more smooth, more airbrush. But when I was using my concealer brush, I had to be careful to blend out the concealer evenly, because if I would just go like this, swipe my brush, it was not going to blend my concealer perfectly. So I was like blending my concealer, and then I was tapping it to set the concealer. So I had it to be more careful using my brush, rather than if I was to use the sponge, it would be just easier. So I think so far right now, I'm liking the sponge side better than the brush. So now I'm gonna go ahead and set my face using the Laura Mercier's translucent setting powder, and using the brush from Lurella Cosmetics. I'm gonna be using this baby to set and apply my translucent powder, while this side I'm gonna just use my sponge. And I also want you guys to take in mind that I'm already going to be using 3 different brushes just to do my makeup base, while in this side I'm only using my sponge. So I also want you guys to notice how many tools I'm using for both sides of my face. And I'm gonna grab my translucent powder, tap it, and then I'm going to just set my face. So now I'm gonna go ahead and set my face on this side using my sponge. Alright guys, so I already finished setting my face. So on this side I use my brush. So to set my face, I go both ways. I could use a brush, or I could use a sponge. But now that I see both sides, when I use my brush to grab my translucent powder, I need to just tap it and be very careful not to like get dirty or anything. But when I use my sponge, I don't really need to worry about that. So in my opinion, I don't really see a difference when I set my face. Obviously using a sponge is much easier and much faster. So in that aspect, I like using my sponge better. So whenever I bronze my face, I always use a brush, because I think that a brush will be way easier than using your sponge. I like to use my sponge more to apply my foundation and concealer, and also to set it. But whenever I bronze my face, I just go for a brush. I don't know anybody who uses a sponge to bronze their face, but I don't know, maybe there are people who like to use a sponge, but I personally like to use my brush. So I'm gonna go ahead and bronze my face very quickly. And also I forgot to tell you guys that the bronzer that I'm using is from e.l.f. Cosmetics, and this is in the shade Tan. Alright guys, so now I'm gonna go ahead and bake my under cheekbones, and let's see which side it's better. So going with this side first, I'm gonna grab my brush. I'm gonna bring the brush down. And then going on this side of the face, using my sponge, I'm gonna start right here and then bring it down. And then on the side of my nose as well, this side I'm gonna use my sponge. and then this side I'm going to use the brush. Alright guys, so I think now you can see more of a major difference. So this side is me baking my face using the brush, and as you guys can see, the line going down my face is not really like crisp, it's not really defined, while this side using the sponge, I just went with one swipe and it just defines my cheekbones better. And again, this side is less messy, while this side the translucent powder was just like going all over the place. So there's always a pros and cons when you use both of these products. And then on my nose, this side, as you guys can see, it was very easy for me to define my nose, while this one is not very clear when you define your nose with a brush. So whenever you are baking, I think that you need to use your sponge because it's going to help you bake better. All right guys, so that completes this makeup base using the brush and then using the sponge on this side. So I'm gonna go off camera and finish my eyes, do whatever I have to do, and I will be right back with you guys to tell you which side I like better and the pros and cons of using both of these tools whenever you're doing your makeup. So with that being said, my loves, I will be right back with you guys in a second. All right guys, so I am back and this is the final look of this face. So I'm gonna go ahead and talk about which side I like better. So obviously this side I used the brush, and this side I used the sponge. So when I was applying my foundation and concealer, I liked the sponge side better because it was way easier to blend the foundation and even faster as well. There was nothing wrong on this side of the face. The only thing I wish was that my foundation would have applied more coverage when I was using my brush, while this side, when I used the sponge, the coverage was there. I didn't feel like my sponge was absorbing a lot of foundation, while this side I felt that the brush was absorbing a lot of foundation and also concealer. So the concealer, when I was using my brush, it took me a while to blend out my concealer as I wanted to. But when I used my sponge on this side of the face, it was more easier, and overall it was just easy to apply. But the final result, I don't think that there's a major difference. I think that both sides of the face looks stunning, and if someone was to look on me and say that one side is different, I don't think they would notice. But if I was to choose which side to pick, I would use the sponge side because again, the timing, it was easier, fast, and I'm all about doing my makeup fast but also very flawless. But yeah, my loves, thank you so much if you made it to the end. I hope this comparison gave you an idea if you are to use your makeup brush or your sponge. So that is completely up to you. I think that every beauty has their own way to do their makeup. There's no wrong or right way to do it. It's just how you feel about it. So before I end this video, if you guys haven't subscribed to my channel, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Join this beauty channel so that way you guys get inspired of many makeup tutorials, many makeup ideas. So go ahead and subscribe to my channel, and also don't forget to click that bell notification so that way you guys get notified whenever I post a video. And without any further ado, my loves, I'll see you guys in my next video.